Hi guys, Scarlet Wolf here. Today, we will reading one of the stories I made. This story idea is inspired by the horror game The Evil Within, Drop of the Frozen Thorns. Whether this is inspired by one or two, I don't know. Now, shall we begin? Plot. Sometimes, people can wake up from dark memories that haunt them every time. Although it takes a short time, or quite a long time. He always remembers those words, in order to fulfill his dream of becoming a detective police officer. However, something had happened to him. When he woke up, he was in a place he didn't know. Not only that, various incidents, as well as encounters with people he doesn't remember being there. Moreover, the memories of 17 years ago that still haunt him are also there. As if calling him back, asking him for help. There's so much he doesn't know, but he faces it, even though the fear will haunt him. Chapter 1. Haunted by Dark Dreams. 17 years ago. An explosion incident had sent everyone into a panic. The explosion that caused the fifth-floor apartment caused everyone who was there to get scared and try to get out and evacuate. No one knows for sure the cause, but the explosion also caused the elevator to shut down instantly and trap the people in the elevator as well. In fact, some people were trapped from their rooms by the rubble and the fire. Rescue workers and firefighters. They tried their best to evacuate the victims. Even extinguishing the fire didn't escape to minimize the explosion. Moreover, the medical team was also deployed to treat the victims who had been found. The chaos was still going on even though it had been 1 hour. They are not tired and try to be able to save the victims who are still trapped. But the most stressful thing has just begun. Sir, are you all right? I found 2 victims here. Anyone hear me? I need a backup right now. But when the officer was about to run for help, his legs were stuck as if he wanted to say something. You don't have to save me. Save my son first. That person's voice was quite weak. But he was so adamant. Please, sir. He's more injured than me. Save him. Please. Okay, sir. Please hold on, my team and I will save your son first. Seeing the sincerity of the heart, he could not help but have to obey the words of the person. It was hard to believe that those words actually reminded him of something he had forgotten due to the painful wound. And once the other team arrived, evacuation of victims of a father who protects his young son from the ruins of buildings and also a puff of smoke is very stressful. And when they managed to evacuate the boy. But unfortunately, the father died after he saw that his son had survived, even though it was full of wounds all over his body. Sir. Hey. Hang in there. Sir. It's no use. He was seriously injured. The rubble has left quite a deep wound from his back. They were all silent for a moment. Seeing the toughness of a father who was willing to die to protect his child, made their hearts so touched. I didn't expect that he's willing to die to protect his son. He's a real man. Until. Sir. Allow me to expand on his final message. Allow me to save his child. Even that moment moved the heart of a policeman who was involved in helping the evacuation. As if to make others feel unable to do anything. All right then. You better take his son to the medical team and outside, you also have to use your breathing apparatus. Don't disappoint him who is willing to do this. This is an absolute order. Yes, sir. Forgive me, sir. I will make sure your son can be saved. Trust me. The officer who was holding the boy was trying to hold back his tears, as he ran to find a way to get to the medical area outside. While the others helped evacuate the body of the father who was lying stiff. Don't worry, little friend. I'll save you, no matter what happened to me. As he ran, he also saw the boy was also trying to endure the pain. On the other hand, he was also trying to hold his breath as long as the smoke didn't dissipate. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. He also felt a crack in the wall, and a slight tremor began to be heard. Even though he fell, he tried to get up and always prioritized the safety of the child. He kept running, until he didn't notice that a sound and a flash of light were approaching them. No one knows what will happen after that. The officer was found unconscious on the first floor, while the boy They took both of them to the medical team as soon as possible. Their hearts were both quite weak. Their breath is also weak. They try hard to be able to treat them. The tension was gradual, even though 3 hours had passed. Some of the rescue teams who tried to evacuate managed to survive even though their condition was very weak. The life of the police who brought the child could not be saved and was declared dead from inhaling too much smoke. While the child miraculously managed to survive even though his condition was still weak. Several investigations are ongoing, but unfortunately to no avail. Who did that? Still not known. The incident is still an event that cannot be forgotten by anyone. You have tried so hard to survive. Remember, there are many people like you, but maybe someone is not as lucky as you. That's why. Stay alive. And always try to help those in need selflessly. I still remember that sentence and I always plant it from the bottom of my heart. I may not be able to forget my father, nor the officer who saved me at that time. I only remember that I was saved people trapped in a building from a high level of danger. Honestly, I don't really remember why. Or how I got back to that place again, even though I don't want to go back to seeing those bloody and horrible memories again. That time. You're awake, sir? 17 years later. Half a mile to Texas City. You must be tired after arriving at the airport this early in the morning. Don't worry, sir, you will soon reach your destination. A talented detective nicknamed the Devil of Thorns, California, wants to visit our city. I mean, it's an honor for me, you know. Why did you come here? Hearing that, he couldn't help but smile kindly. For him. For 17 years. Luke Damon still cannot forget the incident that took his father's life. But he tried to be patient, as long as he continued to stare at the scene in the taxi glass. It's hard to imagine every time he looks at a beautiful green landscape, but for a moment, he sees that it looks terrible. Barren, and also full of rocks and heaps of earth. Although what he saw didn't last long. I want to visit my father. And also my long-dead savior. I want to tell them that I have become a police detective, and always help whenever they need in there. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I shouldn't have asked like that. It's okay. I understand. But yeah. I believe that they will be very proud of what you achieved. Oh, sorry. Actually, I really admire you. I mean, I saw you on the news and also in the newspapers or whatever. And very able to solve mysteries and also various criminals. They even try to learn to be like you. Even though they used to be very naughty and don't think so. Suddenly, the driver swerved because he was shocked. He tried to get out and see what happened. But Luke, who was curious, also came out. What's wrong? But Luke did not see the driver, but what he saw and also surprised him, because there was a sudden landslide in front of him. Even though as far as he knew, in front of him, there was only a green hill on the right, and also a cliff on his left. Moreover, there are no reports of landslides or anything. Feeling that something was wrong, he tried to walk towards the avalanche. He examined it carefully while looking for a way around it. It's just... What is this? Why is there a white stone here? Out of curiosity, he examined the stone. But, how surprised would he be if it turned out to be? What the? This is not a rock, this is a human skull. Why is it here? Unfortunately, when he saw the taxi driver was dead with a wound to his head. That's when he was attacked by someone from behind, until he finally fell unconscious. But before he lost full consciousness, he heard a voice even though it sounded weak. As long as he's still alive, that's enough. The chairman really needs him. This time, the secret project can be continued. Hopefully he can complete the mission from the chairman and can also endure the pain that will haunt him later. Even though he already understood what he heard, it was a shame, because he had completely lost consciousness. All he felt was empty darkness. And when he realized, how surprised he was. How could he not? At first, he just walked in the endless darkness. Until right in front of his eyes appeared a city that seemed empty and uninhabited. And surprisingly again, He saw an apartment building that was very similar to the one he remembered 17 years ago, not far from his place. Where am I? What he saw made him very confused. So, what do you think? Do I have to make another chapter until this story is finished? Or only one chapter ends? This is only the first chapter of the story that I made, and I have turned it into an audiobook version. To be honest, it wasn't easy to make this. And I also still have to learn more. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story. Hope you enjoy it. And Scarlet out.